Okay, I want everybody to pay attention because I'm going to start doing this, and I want to make sure you understand what I'm doing without having to explain it 100 times. Nick? I love you, man. Pay attention. About what?
How do you know if like A is greater than 1 and like how do you know if it's an and?
It's an and if it's like comes to the middle. If it goes in opposite directions, it's or. Because it's either one or the other.
In the middle blank, whatever, between the dots.
Right. If it's in the middle of the two dots, then it's the and. Okay? All right. Pay attention to this real quick. I'm using simple letters because I want to make sure we can follow. Okay? But if we had an equation or inequality, whatever you want to say, and we'll even do this. Okay? And we wanted to find a common denominator in order to cancel out those denominators at the bottom. Now the purpose is we're canceling the A, then we're canceling the B, then we're canceling the C plus 2, correct? All right, instead of having to write A and then crossing it out, if you will just voice your common denominator as you're going and say A, B, C plus 2, A, B, C plus 2, A, B, C plus 2. Does that make sense? Because if you wrote it there, you were just going to cross it out anyway. I mean, if we had put in the A, we were just going to cross it out. If we had put in the B, we were just going to cross it out. If we put the C plus 2, we were just going to cross it out. So just to save paper space and confusion, because the more letters and numbers you have written on the paper, the more confused you get, right? Okay? That's how I'm going to start doing it. Does everybody understand? Nick, you understand? Okay. All right. So the first question last night was number what? 15. God bless you. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I told you something wrong yesterday, and I apologize. I was wrong. Okay? Whenever we put our dots, when we solve it as an equation, the second dot is only colored in if this symbol is greater than or equal to. If it's not or equal to, then it's not colored in. Okay? So, fix that in your brains real quick. All right, first thing we want to do, we know it's an inequality, so we are going to have to test when we're done, right? Okay. A cannot be equal to what? -1, because that would cause me to have an undefined fraction. All right. Next, we're going to solve this like an equation. So we're going to look for a common denominator, where the only denominator is A plus 1. Well, if I was to multiply here by A plus 1, it would just cancel this one. But I must multiply here by A plus 1. So I have 7 equals, and with distribution, 7A plus 7. Subtract 7 from both sides. Divide by 7. It says my other number is what? 0. But does it equal 0? No. So I'm going to have open circles on -1 and 0. Okay? So how many regions do I have to test? I have 3 regions to test, and I need to choose numbers in these regions. A number here we could use is -2. A number here is what? We can't use -1. We'll use -1/2, and here we could use 1. All right? Now we need to plug it into our original, which was 7 over A plus 1 is greater than 7. Okay. -2. If I put a -2 right here for A, that's 7 over -1, which is -7, is greater than 7. Is that true? No. All right. Let's do 1 first because it's easier. If I use 1, which is coming from the very extreme right, that's 7 over 2, or 3.5, is greater than 7. Is that true? No. Okay. Now using 1/2. Well, guess what? It's going to be in the middle. 7 divided by 3/2. What's 7 divided by 3/2? Does everybody see that this is 3/2? Because 1/2 plus 1 is 1.5, or 3/2, correct? And if you say divided by 3/2, you should actually say times 2/3. So it's 7 times 2/3 is greater than 7. That's 14/3, or was there no solution for number 15?
I thought it was negative 1/2.
Oh, it's negative. I'm sorry. My bad. You could have plugged that like a lot earlier.
Well, I didn't want to look stupid. Say it.
7 divided by 1/2 is the same as 7 times 2. And is 7 times 2 bigger than 7? Yes. All right, so this is an inequality. This is and. Okay? The solutions exist between the two dots. So, the letter that I was actually using was what? A? Okay. So A is located between -1 and 0, and there was no equal to signs anywhere. So that's your solution.
You can put it like that, or -1 is less than A and.
Yeah, you could, but it's more. We want to do it like this.
Yeah.
I know
Okay.
which way to put the sign.
The arrows always pointing towards the smaller number. Okay? -1 smaller than 0. And both arrows have to go in the same direction. If you write it the other way, that's fine. Just make your arrows point towards the smaller number. So we would say this. Does it click? Okay. The next one was number what? 19? Okay. It's an inequality, so we're going to have to test when we're done. First, start with your restrictions. What can t not equal? 0. So I'm going to have an open circle on 0. Common denominator is t. So I'm going to multiply by t, t, t. And I'm solving it as an equation. Subtract 1 from both sides. Divide by 5. All right, and my other circle is on 3. But can it equal 3? No, there's no equal to symbol. So it's an open circle on 0 and 3. That's 0. Okay, so let's choose some numbers in our regions. Easy. -1. +1. +4. All right. My original was okay. Okay. -1. If t is equal to -1, will this be true? That's 5 plus 1 divided by -1, or -1, is greater than 16 divided by -1. Is 4 bigger than -16? Yes, it is. All right. If t equals +1, that's 5 plus 1 is greater than 16. Is that true? No. If t is equal to 4, that's 5 plus 1/4, which is 5 and 1/4, is greater than 16 divided by 4. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so now my